Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, then welcome. Today I am creating a video based on a request from one of you guys. So I received a comment, which I'll put up here, and it said something along the lines of creating a video for men who have demanding jobs and kind of giving them guidance on what type of woman to look for. And this man kind of said both things, like it's for single men who are looking for a good woman, but it's also for men who are already married and want to just solidify their marriage even though they might be really busy. So in this video, I am going to be talking about things to look for in a wife, as well as how to keep her attracted and interested, right? Because as we know, it's not just about meeting someone great, it's about actually keeping them in our life for the long term. So I know that I have clients who have no trouble meeting high quality men, but when it comes to actually getting in a relationship or getting engaged to, that's where they struggle. So you can attract someone great, but you really want to keep them as well, right? You want to keep them attracted, you want to keep them interested for years and decades to come. So first, let's just talk about what type of woman to look for if you are a busy, high-achieving man, okay? The first thing that you want to look for is a woman who is flexible, okay? So flexible, I don't mean like physically flexible, like she's a gymnast, but I mean flexible in terms of thought, so she's open-minded, as well as flexible in terms of time and her schedule, okay? So interestingly enough, one of the first books that I read about financial freedom and just money in general was called The Millionaire Next Door. Highly recommend this book, by the way. I read it like over a decade ago and it was life-changing. And in this book, they were looking at which career was the most common among wives of millionaires. Okay, so let me say that once again because it might be confusing. So they looked at millionaire men and they looked at their wives and they found what was the most common job among all of those women. And guess what it was? I'm gonna give you a few minutes. Maybe you can comment down below what your guess is. And it goes hand in hand with being flexible. So the most common career for the wife of a millionaire is a teacher. And you know why that is? They are super flexible. Not only do they have several weeks off for winter, but they have several months off every summer. And even during the week, their schedule tends to be pretty flexible. Like they work an 8 to 3 or a 7 to 3 p.m. kind of job, and they might stay a few extra hours to grade papers and such. But teachers tend to be married to the most millionaires because the schedule and the lifestyle of a teacher not only makes her flexible with her schedule, but it makes her flexible in thought because she's always learning new things, she's teaching new things. She's not someone who's closed-minded to new information or to new ways of thinking, right? She's someone who's intelligent, she's smart, she knows how to articulate herself. So flexibility is very key because as a man who's very busy and high achieving, you probably have a schedule that is pretty inflexible. So if you were to meet a woman who had another inflexible schedule, well then imagine coordinating that. And what about if you guys want kids? It's going to be really difficult, right? So even my now husband, he told me that his ex-girlfriend actually had a pretty fixed schedule. And she was traveling a lot for work, he was traveling a lot for work, so they didn't see each other much. And this created a wedge in between them because, as we know, time that we spend together, quality time, is key to creating a fruitful relationship. So if you are already very busy and have a packed schedule, then you want to meet someone who has more flexibility. So perhaps they work from home, perhaps they have their own business so they can set their own hours. All of these are going to be attractive to you. The next thing to look for is a woman who does not get bored easily. So ideally, you want to marry a woman who has hobbies. She has interests. She can keep herself busy. If you're away for a work trip, or if you're working 60-hour weeks, she's not at home just waiting for you. And the minute you walk through the door, she's going to be, just treating you unfairly because her happiness relies on your presence, right? You want a woman who, when you walk through the door, she's greeting you with a smile. She's so pleased to see you. And she also has so much to tell you because she's been involved in projects. She has different things that she's working on. She has friends that she goes out with. And so she is a holistic person. She has things to do. She's interesting. She's not just dependent on you for her happiness, for her joy. So this is key because as a busy man, likely you are not going to be able to talk to her every minute of the day. You're not going to be able to spend every hour with her of every day. So you want to meet a woman who has interests, who has hobbies, who can keep herself busy. And that gives you the peace of mind too, so that when you're at work, you're not worried about her, or you're not thinking that, goodness, she's been by herself for the last 3 hours. Is she just watching, another season of The Bachelor? That is not attractive, right? So my husband always tells me that one of the things that he finds so attractive about me is that I always have something going on. I never get bored, whether I'm reading a book, whether I'm filming a video, whether I am working with my students in my business or coaching clients. I'm always getting involved in something, and it's sexy. He sees me in my element. He knows that people need me. People are looking to me for their services, and it just makes it so that I am this whole person without him, and that I am going to have life satisfaction and life joy. Even if he's busy, even if he's away, I am going to keep myself busy. And it's not with harmful things, right? Because there are some women who will keep themselves busy with substances, or with having an affair, or with gossiping with their girlfriends, right? But that's not the type of woman you want to marry. So you want to marry a woman who is keeping herself busy with fruitful hobbies, with fruitful interests that she can reap the fruits from. Okay, the next thing is someone to offer a different perspective. So variety is good, okay? My husband is an introvert, I'm an extrovert. There is a different perspective. When he wants to stay home, I'm the one that's like, no, let's go out. We got invited to this event, let's go, So having that variety in his life brings out a different energy, right? If he were to be married to another introvert, they would be doing what he's always been used to, right? Sitting at home in his comfort zone, in his shell. But I bring out this new energy in him where he wants to go out and have a good time with me. He wants to try new restaurants. He wants to travel. And we can kind of bounce back ideas from each other. Along the same lines, he is working a corporate job. I am an entrepreneur. So because of that, we have different ways of thinking. His is very much like by the book, and he has a lot of knowledge when it comes to businesses and business structure and profitability and all those things. And I have more knowledge when it comes to expansion and scaling and having an online brand and things like that. So because of our differences when it comes to our career, we can just talk for hours on end about things that maybe we disagree with, right? But we're able to keep an open mind and hear each other's perspectives, and it just creates such a richer understanding of the world. Okay, so please marry someone who's a little bit different from you. Yes, there is going to be some friction, But with that friction comes so much joy and so much growth, right? Because now you're being exposed to a different mentality, a different way of thinking, a different personality, and it's going to bring out the best in you. The next thing is someone who has a strong identity outside of their career. So this was actually something that my husband said that I should mention in this video, is if you have such a strong focus already on your career, which you probably do if you're high achieving and if you're busy, then you don't want to go home and talk more about work and talk more about work politics and talk more about money. You want someone who's going to bring that playful energy, that free-flowing energy, that spontaneity, right? To get you kind of just out of the work zone and into like a different mindset, okay? So choose someone who has a strong identity outside of her career. So for me, I have a huge identity outside of my career as just being a daughter and a sister. Family is so huge to me, and my husband loves that I have such a strong focus on family and that I spend time really fostering my relationships with my mom, my dad, my sister. And not only that, but I have a strong identity when it just comes to being creative and doing things that don't really have an end goal in mind, right? So his prerogative is generally do something that gets paid or relax. I also like simply doing things just for the enjoyment of it. So I could journal and write poetry and do things like that. And I have an identity that isn't always just tied to what pays, and what brings me income. So I think that if you were to meet a woman who maybe she has a career, but she still has this strong identity outside of it, she doesn't think she is just her achievements, but she's actually a woman who can bring so much to the table, right? With her nurturing energy, with her loving energy, with her ability to create a home. This is so huge. Like when my husband and I met, I turned our house into a home. I started cooking. I started just creating this peaceful environment so that when my husband came back from work, he was at peace and he wasn't in this stressful zone where I'm worried about work, he's worried about work, and there is no fun and play and ease. Okay, so that is really important. And hand in hand in that is someone who helps you relax. Please choose a woman who helps you unwind, who, rubs your back after a long day, who asks how she can make your life easier, who just wants to see that youthful side of you. Good women always bring out this childlike, curious, fun, playful energy from their men. I can always sense a man who's with the right woman and one who's with the wrong one, because if she's a bad woman, she's going to be bringing you down. You're going to feel more stressed, more anxious, more overworked, more burnt out. But if you're with the right woman, she is just going to be refueling your energy. She's going to be giving you that peace at the end of the day. She's going to provide you that solitude to where you guys can just be laying side by side without any words spoken, and you can just feel that you're being recharged, you're being rejuvenated. That is so crucial with the woman who you marry, because you're going to be with this person for life. So make sure that you can relax and just feel at peace in their presence. When you are feeling overwhelmed, she's not adding to that. She's helping to remind you that everything's okay, everything's going to work out. I know that my husband and I both have times, me mainly, when we are feeling burnt out or overwhelmed or, just overworked. And we always provide each other that comfort, that reminder to know that this isn't important. Relax, just take a deep breath, just, chill out today. I'm going to do all the chores and the tasks today, Have a woman by your side who helps you get into that mentality, because life is too short. If we're over here stressing about unknowns or about deadlines that we missed at work, are we really living a fulfilling life, or are we just focusing on the negative? So find a woman who can help you focus on the positive. She brings that cheerful, upbeat attitude, and it just makes all the difference in your life. I know that when my husband and I first met, he just couldn't stop telling me, I have never felt this way around a woman, where I feel inspired, where I feel just joyful and positive and childlike. And so that is just such a beautiful place to be, when you are with someone and just being around them brings out your inner child, and it just helps you relax and just enjoy the present moment. So definitely look out for that. Now, when it comes to keeping this person attracted and interested in you, I want to just say that my husband and I haven't even been married for a full year, so I don't even know if I'm qualified to give this advice, but from what I know, I would say continue working on yourself. Self-improvement is never ending, and it is so sexy when you find your partner wanting to improve themselves, whether it is, exercising, whether it's rediscovering a new hobby, whether it's anything, right? When we have this mindset of wanting to grow, of wanting to learn, of wanting to improve, that creates a ripple effect, and that is contagious, and it's just going to help elevate the entire partnership. Okay, so please focus on your self-improvement. Don't have this mentality of, oh, I already want her, well, it's downhill from here. Continue to refine yourself and improve yourself. And like I've said in another video, since my husband and I met, his metabolic age has gone down. So he has literally gotten younger in terms of his health. This is because my presence has inspired him to continue improving himself, to continue working on his habits, his health, his fitness, and all those things. Also, please schedule the date nights. Date nights are important. It doesn't matter if you guys have been together 5 months, 5 years, or 5 decades. Okay, schedule the date night. Get out of the house. A lot of the times when we're in that same environment, we're just operating a household, right? We're thinking of what needs to get done. We're not really fully relaxed. And so when we just dress up, put on a nice outfit, and go out for dinner, we're able to just tap into this new energy and just have a night where we're not doing any work. We don't need to cook. We don't need to clean the dishes. We just need to show up and enjoy each other's presence. So please schedule the date nights. Do not forget anniversaries and birthdays. This is huge, especially if you're a high achieving man. Please don't leave this up to your assistant, or just kind of put off this and just do something easy or not thoughtful. As a woman, we really care about that extra effort, whether it is a handwritten note or a spa day that you booked for us, or a gift that you selected that you knew we would love. Make sure to do it, and just send those messages of admiration, of love, even if you're busy, even if you're away. Send her something to remind her that you're thinking of her. Pick up some flowers on the way home from work. Like, all these small things really add up. I truly believe in spoiling your partner. My husband and I have notoriously celebrated our anniversary every single month since we have met, without fail, and it creates this culture where we're always celebrating our union. We're always in this energy of, I appreciate you, I admire you, and I still feel thankful for having you, right? So we're not now thinking, oh, well, we've known each other 5 years, so we have less to celebrate now. No, now we find even more to celebrate about each other and with each other. So please don't forget the date nights, the anniversaries, and the birthdays. They are important. And along those same lines, when you're away, even if you're away on a work trip, check in on her. Even if you can't talk for a long time, leave her a little voice note or a voice recording. Ensure that she's had her lunch. If she hasn't, send her a little meal. These things show that you care about her even when you're away. And that is one of the key things that my husband did that set him apart from any other guy I've ever dated, was that he wanted to take care of me even when he wasn't physically present. So if he knew I was going out with my girlfriends, he was like, here's my Uber, please get an Uber, be safe. If he knew I was at home working all day, he would say, please order a meal on my DoorDash, just order something and don't stress about cooking. And those simple things, even though they don't cost a lot, make the world of a difference, and they show your woman that you care about her, that you want to protect her and provide for her, even when you're not physically there. Last but not least, give her freedom and space. At the end of the day, mystery and distance is what creates attraction. It's what wants us to pull closer. We're human, and a lot of this stuff in our psychology doesn't make sense, but distance makes the heart grow fonder. So cheer her on when she wants to go out with her friends, Applaud her when she is going home for a family meal, even if you are too busy and can't show up with her. Give her that space and that freedom to cultivate friendship, community outside of you, because not only does it make her miss you, but it creates this dynamic where even though you guys have been together for months or years or whatever it is, there's still this element of mystery. There's still this element of, tell me about your night. There's still this element of this person having an identity that isn't just intertwined with you. Okay, so I know when we get married, yes, two becomes one, we become a team, we become a unit, but what keeps a marriage for the long haul, for the long term, is when this unit still has their own identity outside of the marriage. They still have their own hobbies, their own interests, their own friends. They still have this space and this freedom to be themselves, to go out, to have a girls' night, to have a guys' night. And then they come home so excited to cuddle up next to their partner and give them the update on their night and all of that. So I really think that this is just going to help guide you in the right direction when it comes to not only meeting a woman who is going to be right for marriage considering your busy lifestyle, but also when it comes to keeping her attracted, keeping her interested, and just keeping the flame going for the long term. So let me know if this was helpful. I really had fun filming it. Make sure to leave below any other suggestions that you guys have down below in the comments if you want me to answer a question or cover a certain topic in the future. I would love to do so. Also, if you have not subscribed already, make sure to do that, and I will see you all very soon. Bye!